of Congress is now using the document leak to argue that we should pack up and leave Afghanistan. Joining us now from Capitol Hill, that Congressman, Democrat Dennis Kucinich. Congressman, you have a couple of things going on now, but one of the things that you want is for America to get out of Afghanistan, end this war. I think a lot of people on the left agree with you. Some people even on the right are agreeing with you now. My question to you is, why can't the Dems get more traction on this issue politically? I mean, other members of your caucus, given the fact that, you know, the public opinion is where it is.
Well, I think when the bills start coming due for this war, when people look at the budget and we're basically putting this war on a credit card, people are going to say, what are we doing? I mean, this is a war that the Pakistan government is helping the Afghanistan Taliban. There's endless corruption in the Afghanistan government. Every measure that Wikileaks came forward with their secret documents shows that the war is going very badly, and you have to ask, why are we still there?
Do you think the people who leaked these documents should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law?
You know, it's not for me to say, and if I said anything, I'd become involved in the case. I will say this, though, that it is absolutely urgent that the American people know what's going on. I mean, the media has a responsibility to find out, and whether it's WikiLeaks or Fox or some other network.
Well, what if national security is compromised, sir?
Well,
sir, what if national security is compromised? Lives are at stake here. We have people on the ground whose lives are at stake. Are they not? That's important, isn't it?
There are many, you know, the White House, congressional leaders all have, nothing's new. Well, if nothing's new, then there's no big secrets that have gotten out. And I would look at that and say, well, if nothing's new, and we knew that we had all these innocent civilians being killed, and we knew that the Pakistan intelligence was subverting our troops inside of Afghanistan, we knew that the Afghanistan government is hopelessly corrupt, and we knew this the last 6 years, and we're still there, something's wrong.
By the way, Colonel Ralph Peters last night on The Factor said he thinks the people who leaked this should be executed. I would imagine you probably don't agree with that. I do want to ask you about, though, again, what's happening within the Democratic Party, Congressman. You've been very consistent on this. You know, you have been, from the beginning, against Iraq, you're against Afghanistan. We could debate that all hour. But the Democratic Party right now is still seen as a rubber stamp for what this president is doing. He's basically continuing Bush's policy in Afghanistan with more troops. So this is a Democratic president, a Democratic Congress. If you can't get traction on your resolution that you co-sponsored with Ron Paul to remove troops from Pakistan or on the Afghanistan issue, when will you get traction on it?
Well, you know, you raise a legitimate question, and that is, when will the Democratic Party keep the promise it made to the American people and in the 2006 election that if we took control that we'd end the war in Iraq, which, you know, some seem to think keeping 50,000 troops there constitutes a withdrawal, and that we'll take action to end this war in Afghanistan in a timely way and also stop wars from spreading. I mean, we just can't even afford it anymore. We have to start taking care of things back here at home. There are people who don't have jobs or losing their homes. Our businesses are having trouble getting access to capital. And meanwhile, we're going abroad looking for dragons to slay. We have an obligation to defend our country, but you know what? The way we're going about it right now, we're wasting a lot of money, and I think we're actually endangering our security because occupations fuel insurgencies.
So, Congressman, just end this. The president then, during the campaign, when he said the war we really need to be fighting is in Afghanistan, was that a political throwaway line, kind of a CYA saying, I'm standing up for the country, I'm going to be tough too, but just in a different way? I mean, there seems to be a disconnect between you and most of the Democrats on the blogs and on the activists and this president.
President Obama and I had differences during the last campaign that were well chronicled about the direction of our policy. He was elected. He's the president. He actually gets a chance to make some decisions, but Congress has an obligation, since under the Constitution we have the war power, to be able to decide if we commit troops or whether we keep them there and whether we fund it. So I'm saying that Congress should do its job here, and if we disagree with the president, we should say so, and that's what I've done.
We have about, 230 people on the ground in Pakistan, or 320 in Pakistan. You and Ron Paul, unlikely bedfellows, some would say, both say, get him out of here, get him out of there immediately because of what we learned in these WikiLeaks. But don't those American special forces play a really important role inside Pakistan as well?
Well, you know, when you consider the fact that Pakistan intelligence is subverting us in our troops in Afghanistan, I don't know if we're in an environment where we can say our troops aren't going to get hurt. We already lost 3 in February inside Pakistan. My whole purpose is to make sure there's a debate, that Congress is involved, that if there's going to be troops in Pakistan, that Congress has to have something to say. And this is the debate we had today. And Ron Paul, who understands better than most people the limitations of the expression and projection of American power, I appreciate that he and I were able to join together on this war powers resolution.
And Congressman, just a yes or no, are you still in favor of instituting a Department of Peace?
Oh, do we need one right now? We need to look for ways of resolving our differences so we don't always have to resort to force. I mean, look what war is costing us. We have an obligation to defend ourselves, but we've got to evolve into more diplomatic means of settling our differences.
That's what the president promised us, sir. That's what the president promised us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And up next on The Factor, Crowley.